That's why Cabinet met today and agreed that effective immediately, we will move to Alert Level 3 nationwide. After 48 hours, the time required to ensure essential services are in place, we will move to Level 4. These decisions will place the most significant restrictions on New Zealanders' movements in modern history.
That is a video of the Prime Minister announcing that New Zealand would go into full lockdown, stay home and self-isolate. As the news spread across my workplace, there was fear, sadness and confusion. After work that day, I went home. I could see it all over social media and the news. The biggest worry on everyone's mind was how we were going to get paid if we couldn't go to work. And this is because some people live week to week. And while this has crossed my mind because I have a family too to make sure that they are taken care of, I have one thing that reassures me and that I can fall back on. And that is, I have an emergency fund. And this is what the video is about today. Roll intro. What is up everybody? Welcome to my channel where I talk about personal finance, property investing and my stock market journey while I try to figure out how to become a millionaire. If you're new here, my name is Gifford, and as a new channel, if you could hit that like button, it would help me out massively, and if you're interested in investing, feel free to subscribe. So in today's video, it's all about why an emergency fund is important and how to calculate one. And because I'm a simple man, let's head over to Wikipedia for the definition of an emergency fund. Let's start the topic here. An emergency fund is a personal budget set aside as a financial safety net for the future mishaps or unexpected expenses. I'll be trying my hardest to convince you why you should have one, because in the long term, it's one of the secrets to reaching your financial goal. Simply put, an emergency fund helps to keep you on track of your goal, so you have money on the sideline to deal with life's financial problems and issues. So the big question is, what's the big secret and why does it matter? And the answer is this: it buys you time to react to negative situations that affect you financially, especially for people who don't have a very big disposable income. The biggest secret when going after really big goals, like trying to buy a $10,000 or $20,000 car or even saving for a house deposit, you need to stick to the plan that you've set out. And your emergency fund is a safety net to make sure that you're always on track for your goal. It is also well documented, like this article, how money and mental health are linked. The most obvious one is financial stress that leads to depression. In this other article, in February 4th of this year, stating 1 in 3 New Zealanders are living paycheck to paycheck. That's 1.4 million Kiwis that don't have an emergency fund. And I can tell you right now, they will have a very hard time trying to save money for their goal with constant distractions of not knowing where their money is really going to, and that their budgeting skills are not up to standard. One of the biggest uses for an emergency fund that I have found while I've researched is job loss. Most people only have one form of income stream, and if you lose your job, say during a crazy pandemic, the emergency fund would go a long way in buying you time to try to find another in this challenging job market. It's quite funny that I'm making this video because I myself did not have an emergency fund up until about 2 years ago. It requires you to understand budgeting and to recognize your needs and your wants, and above all, to not spend the pile of cash just sitting there doing nothing. Next part, let's go over how to make a general emergency fund so that you have an idea. And this money here, by the way, best $10 spent on AliExpress. It's fake prop money. So I'll put the example here, and what we'll do is we'll use 12 weeks or 3 months for the emergency fund, and we'll use an example for a single person renting. I'm just going to go over the major bills, and I don't count everything as it gets complicated and I'm less likely to follow it. So let's start with your biggest expense, which is more likely your rent or your mortgage for 12 weeks. The average rent here is about $150 for a single person in Christchurch, so if we multiply that with 12, we get $1,800. The next set of bills is usually power and food, and what we'll do is we'll calculate it on the low end, so we'll say $60 a week, and we'll multiply that by 12, which equals $720. The last one is transport to work, because you need to make sure you get to the place where your main source of income is. So we'll calculate this at $25 a week, and we multiply that by 12 weeks, which equals $300. This gives us a total of $2,820, or we'll just say $3,000 for your emergency fund. So $3,000 is about what you need. I know this is the low end, but I don't like to have too much money just sitting there doing nothing. After all, it is for an emergency fund, so it's only when things go wrong. So each person is different for whatever stage they are in their life. And for me, I have mine at about $5,000 because I have a family, so it needs to be a bit bigger than single person. And it's that easy to calculate an emergency fund. The hardest part is just saving it now. Really, in the end, the main reason for me to have an emergency fund is to stick to my goal. and life's little road bumps don't derail my tracks to financial freedom. Trust me on this, it will help you a lot better to sleep at night, knowing that you have money in the sideline in case anything goes wrong. It will also improve your budgeting skills because it will help you to manage and juggle your income stream and your emergency fund together. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Drop me a comment and let me know if you're thinking about saving up for an emergency fund, or if you already have one, how many weeks have you been saving up for? Feel free to subscribe. Thank you for the like. Have an awesome day, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.